Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is an end of the month for January tarot oracle reading. And Libra, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Libra, we still all have a little bit of Libra in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Libra in? That's where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a general or collective reading, so be aware that parts of it may or may not resonate with you. It's also a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it now, it's the perfect time for you. If it's been a while since I posted this, look back what was happening in your life then, and it will probably give you further clarity on your situation. I'm going to begin with the bottom of the deck, the underlying energy. And we have, whoops, I have my deck upside down. Do I have my, yes, I have my deck upside down, sorry. So we have the 10 of Pentacles. And so the 10 of Pentacles is the most pentacles that you can get. This is like ultimate pentacles. The pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, happiness. It represents abundance on the 3D, like your lifestyle, etc. Not just money is part of it, but that it's just one of the energies of that. And so this is talking about having the lifestyle, like having the home, but being able to have time to visit with your neighbors, that kind of energy. Living in a neighborhood that you love to be in, having pets and children, and like just the all-American dream, basically, that kind of energy. And then we have sailing off to smoother waters with God. So this is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is saying that you've been going through a bit of a rough patch. And as my dad used to say, oh, they're just going through a rough patch. And so this is talking about the emotional waters. Like when the water is rough in tarot, it means that emotions are running high. And so this is about wanting to move off to smoother waters with God. And this is basically, you know, meditating and going inward and praying, and so that you can be in a space where you can let go of your mind. And this can represent overthinking a situation and just not knowing the answer and needing to just go inward and you know, move across the water to a different shore. So it's about wanting to get out of these rough waters here. Let's see what this is about. So this is for the underlying energy for the whole reading, and this is for the internal forces. The internal forces are when you find yourself saying, what if? I don't know if I should do that. What if I do that and this happens? Or I did this and what if now that happens? It's that kind of energy. We have, okay, so we have the Two of Wands here. So the Two of Wands is saying that this person is standing at the top of their turret on their castle, and they're wondering, like they might have this here. And that's the energy. You might feel like, yeah, I have reached the ultimate here where I am, but I'm not really enjoying it like I thought I would. And I feel like I need to expand my horizons. This energy is talking about the big fish in a small pond, kind of having the world at your hands, but realizing, you know, there's only, like, you're the king of your town, but there's only 800 people in the town. So you need to go out and meet new people and, you know, expand. And this can also talk about, I find this energy to be like that of an entrepreneur who wants to expand their business, perhaps franchise it and have other locations like within your town or possibly outside of your town. And when there's the water here in a distant shore, sometimes that means it could even be like on an international level, wanting to expand to other countries, that kind of energy. And then we have, we have the Ten of Swords. So there has been some very troubled waters here. This is not a comfortable position to be in. So it's saying you've been successful, but it hasn't been easy. And it's kind of like you should have this kind of lifestyle, but you don't, because you're wanting to move off to calmer waters. So, and you feel like maybe you would have to leave where you're at to be able to have that happen. So I don't know what's going on for you, Libra. Let's look into this a little bit more. This card, the Ten of Swords, represents, sabotage, being stabbed in the back at least 10 times by someone and left for unalive. Like, this isn't just like this person kind of sort of dislikes you. It's like they want you down. They want you out of the game, that kind of energy. And so the energy is talking about also, this could be like one person that has done it 10 times, or it could be 10 different people, or it could even be 10 different groups of people, depending on your situation. The thing is, this card has been coming up a lot in not as much in the readings now, but a couple of weeks ago more so. But this is talking about leaving 2025, 2 + 2 + 5 = 9. That's a 9-year, the end of a 9 cycle. And that actually was a decade of energy. And when we entered on January 1st, when we entered 2026, 2 + 2 + 6 is 10, and that's a 10-year. You break that down, 1 + 0 = 1. It's the beginning, a new beginning of a new decade of energy. So a lot of people are really feeling this like distinct difference from 2025 to 2026. And I've been noticing, you can notice it in the news and what's happening in the world right now. There's a lot of shift happening, and it seems to be situations that were from years ago are being like brought out into the open now, and there is being the truth is being exposed. It's really interesting to watch the news right now. It's just like a lot of political information out there. And the thing is about the news, like you if you take it in small doses, it can be very beneficial, because whatever's happening on an extreme level like that, like with the leaders of the countries and around the world, what's the sense of the energy around the world, that very much so does trickle down into everybody's life. And then it's kind of like the whole global situation, and then you take each country and how what's happening at the top level in each country, how that trickles down to the average person, and then how the average person then handles that in their own home, in their own life. And so it's kind of like as above, so below kind of energy. So we'll see. There's a lot of this energy. One thing that may really empower you is to look back at the cusp of moving from 2015 into 2016. What were you doing then? Who were you with? What was going on in your life? That could give you some more clues as to why this is happening or who's involved, that kind of energy. And then we have the shift disturber. So the shift disturber is a walking contradiction. This card, you can see this person. I'm just going to move these forwards to make sure you can see at the bottom here. This person is sneaking away in broad daylight. So it's like a thief, but a thief that's robbing in broad daylight. So usually it's white collar crime that's involved. And you see these two swords here. I feel these two swords have something to do with these two swords. So he's left these two swords standing here, but he's sneaking off with 5 of the other ones. Now, sometimes this could represent intellectual material, because the swords represent thoughts and, and also it can represent the words people use, that kind of energy. But the reason why this card is such a walking contradiction is because he's looking back and moving forward, but he's not looking where he's going. And the way he's handling these swords, I mean, he doesn't have them by the handle. He has them by the sharpest part. And it's kind of like, that's weird, isn't it? Like, who carries like 5 swords like that, Like, it doesn't make sense. And then he's on tiptoe. So it's kind of like, this is someone who likes to live dangerously, impulsive. And this card is saying, whatever you're involved in with any other people, make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. There's something shifty going on. regardless, this sometimes can represent innovative thinking. So it can be talking about finding a kind of a sneaky way to resolve something and not have to deal with it. But either way, it's contradictory, and it's it's not energy that you can trust in any way, shape, or form. And then we have, like, it's almost like, and it's happening in broad daylight. And I feel like that kind of reflects, if you have been watching the news at all, it reflects what's going on in the world right now. And so we have this energy here of someone who is in a mental prison. And of course, if you've been in this energy, of course you're feeling this way. This rough waters here, you know, and having to move on from this energy and not knowing how am I supposed to move on from this energy. There's so many people here, and they're so sneaky, and I don't even know why they're doing what they're doing or who they are. I don't even know some of these people. Like, what is it? What is this? Like, kind of like, I don't, what way do I turn? And this is also talking about someone like who's bound up. This can represent feeling duty bound, like someone who can't really speak their truth, or can't see the truth to speak it, kind of energy. One thing I noticed about this, like with this, you notice the rough waters there. I feel like this person, when she first was there, it was like a much bigger puddle, you know, like almost like way more water. But now the water is has shrunk, you know, it's dissipated, and she does have one foot on dry land, and the other one is just in shallow water. So it's not like you're going to drown in this water. So you are able to move forward. It's just being stuck as to which direction. And like all of these, there's 7 swords behind her, and there's one here. And I feel like if she just picked up this one sword and cut everything off, you know, the binding off, you know, took the blindfold off, she's not trapped there. There's nothing making her stand there. So it's kind of like saying that there's a possibility that you could definitely get out of this, but quit overthinking it. And yeah, being left out in the cold and feeling like there's no one to turn to either. So it's an energy. This is when tactics are being used so that a person is left out in the cold. This, you know, you've got someone walking in the snow here in their bare feet, and you've got someone on crutches, and these two are relying on each other to be able to get to where they're going. So this one actually has a bell around their neck. In the old days, they would put bells, force people to wear a bell around their neck if they had the plague. And that kind of energy was like, you know, you could hear them coming for miles so that you could get out of their way, kind of energy. So you can imagine, how are you going to function when you're already in this kind of shape? And you can't, you know, people are running from you before you, who are you going to ask for help? That's the kind of energy. So this implies that there was a lot of energy put into this. And this is taught, but this card represents, it has shown up a lot, representing kind of the end of that 10-year cycle that maybe you've been experiencing this, moving into a new one. And it's talking about, you may have just moved in the last while, or you may be planning to make a move. That's the kind of energy, so that you can get out of this energy. This is talking about, you know, when there's snowfall, you think about snowfall as like there's a, you know, you have like a few flakes and you can handle a few flakes. Anyone can handle a few flakes. But if you have a bunch of flakes pile up on you, you know, like, and you get more and more snow, it can actually even collapse your roof. That we're having we had snowstorms like crazy in Ontario, in the East End of Canada. And literally there was like people whose roofs were collapsing and caving in. And so if you think about your body as being the temple for your soul, it's kind of, it's taking a lot of the damage here. Now they could go inside to the church and get respite, and you know, ask for, like, to warm up at least, and figure out their next move. And so we don't know what they're going to do here. But it looks like they're collaborating with each other and helping each other out as much as they can. And then we have Okay, so this was the comp. There was some unfair or immature competition here. And so, over these pentacles, clearly. Yeah, whenever there's an issue like this kind of energy, follow the money and you'll probably come to the source of what's going on. So this is talking about immature competition. Like, I call this my mean girls card. This is narcissistic cheerleaders who, they can see the other team deserve to win, but they don't care. They have to win. And so they'll do anything to win. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will make sure they win. It's that kind of energy. And this is from people who have not yet figured it out, that when you are in a competition, you really aren't against the other competition. You are, like, you could be, let's take figure skating. You could take, figure skating is a very mental sport, and you could be at a competition and be looking at the competition, and they're landing double and triple axles, and you've only landed yours, you started landing it this week, but like it's not a for sure thing for you. So you could look at the competition and think, oh man, I'm never going to be able to do it, and just get totally like blown out like right there, because your mind is saying you're not going to do it. Or you could watch them and notice, oh, okay, maybe, if I feel like a bit of a wobble there, I'll try doing that. And lo and behold, you land your first double axle at a competition. That's the energy. So it's kind of like being able to take control of your mind and recognizing, yeah, you are in competition with the other competitors, but you're not really in competition with the other competitors. You're in competition with the last best version of yourself. Like the last time you skated, how well did you skate? How many jumps did you land? How did you do in that competition as far as your technique was concerned? What did you learn from it? And what can you learn from the competition to improve your performance so that the next time you go out, you're even that much better? And so this energy is talking about the exact opposite of that, like not wanting to learn from the competition, wanting to win no matter what. And this energy here, so let's look at this. This is your self-image right now. And it's saying, hey, I really feel like I need to move on. Like, I feel like I can't accomplish anymore. Like, I should have this, or I do have this, but I'm dealing with this all the time. Like, I'm not enjoying my life here. And then this energy is in the position of your abundance and self-worth. Well, look at this. I mean, this isn't a good place to be. When you're down on the ground and a whole bunch of people are backstabbing you, smiling in your face, I'm getting smile in your face, backstabbers, that kind of energy, like they're backstabbing. And like they might be smiling at you and pretending that you're a friend or an acquaintance, but when they get together with each other, they're all directing like this very negative energy towards you. And I'm getting that energy. These are people that are putting a lot of energy and effort into this. Now, why would they do that? Usually follow the money. That's, unfortunately, and as sad as it is, it's usually that simple. And so then we have, the energy being very shifty. And this energy this position is actually talking about, like, from the time you were a young child, that there's been something not quite right about your paperwork or your birth situation. This is those situations where you find out when you're 35, hey, I'm adopted, that kind of energy. And everybody in the town, everybody has been talking about it, that kind of energy. And so everybody knew, and behind your back they're snickering and whatever, but you didn't know. And that's the kind of energy we have here. This is about your emotional foundation and your home and family, like your original family. And look at the energy. This is definitely feeling like I'm the odd one out, and probably that might be because you're adopted and you just don't know it. It's that kind of energy. It doesn't have to be that. You could just be the odd person out in the family. For whatever reason, every family has the black sheep in the family that you hear about. There's always someone that in a lot of families, there will be someone that everybody kind of picks on. And it's kind of, why is that? Well, psychologists say it's because people, a lot of people, it's this energy here. They need to feel that they bully other people because it makes them feel better about their position. And so they're lacking confidence. And so if they see someone that has any confidence whatsoever, they will make sure that they take them down. And then in that moment when they take that person down, they feel really good about themselves. If they feel like, well, I'm better than so-and-so. And then if each family has that, it's like, oh, yeah, like I have a house, but so-and-so doesn't, you know, that kind of energy. I have 2 children and so-and-so only has 1, that kind of energy. So I have a boy and a girl and they ended up with 2 girls, that kind of energy. It's very childish behavior, but it can really lead to some real nasty behavior. And especially if there's an inheritance or there's money involved, then it can really lead to some nasty behavior. And so this is about creativity and romance in children. So you can see, if you're in this situation, you are creative because you're creative about how am I going to feed myself? How am I going to stay warm tonight? It's snowing and I don't even have any shoes kind of energy. But these two have decided to collaborate with each other regardless and do their best to overcome this. And the thing is, I feel like this is like anyone can end up in this position in short order. And I feel like the world right now and the way the economy is and all the imbalance in it, a lot of people are now feeling probably what these people have been feeling for 10 years now. These people, well, that's just normal. Like, you know, and a lot of people now, you know, like statistically in Canada right now, nobody's going out to eat out like they used to at restaurants. Not nobody, but a lot, like the restaurants are really suffering because people are like having to really look at their dollar with the economy the way it is, and they're not eating out as much. Well, then that affects the restaurants, and then when the restaurants aren't full, then it affects like the businesses around the restaurants, and it just keeps going on like that kind of energy. And vice versa, if people aren't shopping, then they're not downtown or whatever to eat, they don't stop at the restaurant kind of energy. So that's like, and I feel like that's what's happening all around the world. But I'm just talking about what I see on the news here in Canada, and from the U.S. You know, but all around the world, the economy. A lot of people, if you look at the Australian news or you look at the news from Europe, what's going on in most countries, the people that are living in those countries are feeling a lot of unrest and a lot of change happening. And so it's really showing that division between 2025 and 2026. It was almost like a line was drawn and all of a sudden here we are, like we're in this position now. And so the health and daily routine, that's this energy here. Like if you're always having to worry about the competition, and always having to like, okay, where am I going to get my next meal? How am I going to afford to purchase the things that my children need? That kind of energy. It's a full-time job than just existing. That's the energy that we're talking about here. And then for the external forces, we have the Emperor. And so the Emperor is sitting on his throne, and he's in a situation where he is like all 4 kings rolled into one person. So the Emperor is wise, and they are good with money, and they are really good with their emotions. Like they're able to really contain their emotions so that they're able to make strong decisions that aren't based on emotional energy. And they have a passion for life, and they're at the top of their game. So there's someone that you can go to that would have good advice. And so sometimes just getting out of this situation is just going to someone who you can get some very good advice from. And so this is talking about an external force. Now, you don't have control over a lot of this energy and what the decisions that are made, at the top of the government in your country or, throughout the world. But you do have the ability to rein your emotions in and respond to it instead of reacting to it. So that's the energy here. It's like, don't panic. You're not the only person going through this. If you're thinking, oh, you know, like, you can see a lot of people now are talking about this, that it's more and more challenging to just meet the basic needs because of the economy and all the unrest around the world, and feeling like, is there anything that's sure anymore? And really, you know, none of it was sure before. It just felt like it was more sure. And so that's what we have to understand. You know, you have to decide, okay, what am I going to focus on? Am I going to focus on the instability, or am I going to focus on what I have and use that to, as much as I can, to move forward? This kind of energy brings out this fight or flight. You know, am I going to fight for what I want, or am I going to run away, like, and you know, like, get out of here? And like that's why this energy, if this person is thinking about running away, what are they going to do? You're going to run away from the situation with the same mindset and move to another location, or are you going to make a strong choice so that you can improve your life? That's the energy. And then this is representing the freeze, like, I just don't know what to do, I feel stuck, that kind of energy. So let's look at what we can do with the external forces. All right, so this is like here, like changing, okay, so just changing your attitude right there. We have the Nine of Cups coming in, and there's, in the tarot, like, there's 10 pentacles available here. And so is this energy that you have lost this, or this is just something that you're wishing you had? That's the kind of energy. So this card is talking about the nine, that in the external forces, like if you think about a wish is coming true, you have like the Nine of Cups is talking about, you know, I love my life, I love my partner, I love my children, I love my neighborhood, I love my house, I love my career, da 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 da. And but this this is like something that the person is wishing for. This card means that you're wishing for something. So if you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it yet. And this means you have to stay focused, you have to stay in the game, and you have to move forward. And you have to move forward in a strong way, as strong as you can. Like these two are, they're still on their feet, even though they're having hardship, and they're moving forward. And so that's the energy of, you know, you can't just wish for something and expect it to happen. You have to actually apply yourself to the situation. And then we have for an energetic upgrade here. So this is looking better. So this is saying, with this attitude of just, oh, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to, you know, buy a lottery ticket. I'm going to scramble in my last dollars, and I'm going to buy a lottery ticket and hope I win, and I'm just going to sit here. That probably isn't going to work for you. It could, but it's more likely that you would have been better off investing in your future with that money. So this is talking as above, so below. And the Magician, when the Fool goes on their journey, the very first card they come across is the Magician. So this is talking about having the tools that you need, or finding the tools that you need, renting the tools that you need, something like that. And or collaborating with other people who have the tools and exchanging your energy, like, so that oh, you have the tools, I have the knowledge, that kind of energy. And so this is about bringing what you deserve from above all the way down below. Now it's really interesting because this energy would imply that you already have been very successful. So even if someone goes bankrupt or something because of some weirdness in the economy or whatever, this is saying you already have the knowledge about being successful. Libra is about being a mature adult. That's the stage of life of Libra. And it's also about justice. So this is talking about being able to move forward with the tools that you do have, making the most of them, and then and not giving up, like staying in the game. If it's saying stay focused on what you want, don't focus on what you don't want. And then, okay, so there's some regret here. Like, so this is talking about crying over spilt milk. And quite often this represents perhaps there was a marriage and there was 3 people involved in the marriage instead of 2. That's generally like this is talking about that energy. Or perhaps you gave somebody they stabbed you 3 times, and you gave them one chance after another. Instead of saying after 3 strikes you're out, you gave them 10 opportunities to do it. And it's kind of like talking about having to just, okay, you're gonna have to deal with the regret here. And this is the crying over spilt milk card, even though this is wine. So this is talking about, focusing on this instead of focusing on this. And the power of your mind is very powerful. Like what you focus on is where you, energy goes where you focus. Like that's like where the universe is, the vibration that you're sending out is not really what you have, but how you feel about it. That's the kind of energy. So if you've been successful in the past, you know how to be successful. So you need to carry yourself as someone successful that's dealing with what you have learned from the situation. Turn around, pick up these 2 cups that are still standing, and put these 2 cups to work. That's the energy. Walk down this path, cross over the bridge of troubled waters, and it looks like this is the castle here, and it's dilapidated on one side and standing on the other. So that represents the energy of, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? And you have to decide. You have to decide where it is, what it is for you. And like the Emperor is all about performance. So this is talking about, I feel there could be someone that you could really get some good advice from. And sometimes just having a mentor to empower you could give you some ideas about, okay, I can understand the situation you're in here. How about we do this or we do that kind of energy? And then this is about the wounded warrior. So this is talking about, okay, you've been through this energy and it's behind you now. And so you've got 8 wands behind you, and you're standing on the 9th wand here. And this one is the action that you're going to take closest to your heart. This is what has happened in the past. And this is talking about actions from other people and actions, maybe possibly reactions from yourself. So now what you need to do is, like, you're still on your feet. That's the energy. And so you need to keep going and recognize that perhaps you have been doing everything the correct way, and the competition has been doing sneaky energy, and that's how they're winning. And that energy eventually it catches up with people. And so that's talking about being able to, the wounded warrior energy is someone that says, regardless of what's happening with me, I'm not doing this to another person just to be standing. And you notice this person does have his hand in the same symbol as the Hierophant in the tarot. And that's it's a saying there's a blessing in disguise here. And you haven't maybe reached that point yet, but there is a blessing in disguise, and change your, adjust this regret. Quit focusing on this so that you can achieve this. And it can happen like in the snap of a fingers. All of a sudden your luck can change. Then we have, when you do that, this passion for new discovery, this leaning on this sword or on this wand and saying, hey, I may be going through a real rough patch here. That's what my dad used to say all the time. No, they're just going through a rough patch. Give them some air, is what he would say. So this is talking about, giving them a bit of grace. So this is talking about, having a passion for new discovery. So perhaps you have a really good idea. You've gone and and this can also represent government agencies and that, and going to see, are there any grants or something that you could get your business up and running again, that kind of energy. Is there some other people that would maybe be willing to collaborate in that are maybe in a different city, and maybe that wouldn't be running away, that would be running to, success kind of energy. So this is about deciding, okay, I've been successful, I know how to be successful, and I'm making that decision now. I'm not going to lay here. I'm going to get up and I'm going to take action on what I can do here. And then you're, oh, okay, I love this. Then you become like the rebel with a cause. And so this is talking about having that fire and passion back in your life. And this is about like reining those emotions in allows you to be able to see, oh, okay, I never thought of doing that. If I do that, then I can do this. Instead of it being, what if I do this and this happens? It's more like, what if I do this and that happens? That kind of energy. And so this is having a passion for new discovery. This is like an emotional state. This is also talking about, you might have the reasons why your business failed may have been just need to be tweaked a little. And maybe there's something that you don't understand about business, and this person could really tell you, oh, like, you know, do it this way, and you may find that it's much better. Maybe someone is a really good marketer, that kind of energy. Because I feel like there's a lot of money here, so it's not like it's not like you don't know what it's like not to have money kind of energy. So this is talking, and this is the energy of the fiery horse energy. And on February 17th, like right now, we have a new moon in Capricorn. And I would really take advantage of this energy right now. The new moon in Capricorn is talking about, okay, we're going for the new. we're not dealing with how things happened in the past. We're just gonna let that go for a while here. We're gonna focus on what can we do right now in this moment to even if it's a small thing, the smallest thing that you can do to improve your situation. And you know, a lot of people don't realize, but you only need to be 1% better than the competition to actually win. Because you don't have to be 20 times better or 20% better or 30% better, than just 1% better. That's all. And so what can you do today, right now in this moment, to make your life that 1% better? That might be as simple as cleaning up what you already have. If you get your environment in order, then it allows your mind to have some peace, and you can think better. And I feel like there might be something that you missed, that you haven't thought of, that could really empower you at this time. So we have this new moon in Capricorn. Take advantage of the Capricorn energy. Go and meditate, you know, like sit quietly with yourself and just get into that energy. Okay, Capricorn energy is the goat. The mountain goat is climbing the mountain to build. And what does Capricorn love to build? Businesses. They like to build like they're the most pentacle orientated of all the signs. They're the most mature pentacle sign. And they if you use that energy responsibly, it's about taking those consistent steps of action to improve your situation, not procrastinating. Get up and do it now. That one thing that you could do today to make your situation better, and then tomorrow do one more thing that could make your situation better. If you've been like, you know, looking, if that means going to a government office and seeing if, is there any thing that I can, a grant or something that I can get my business up and running again, that kind of energy. And, or collaborating with other people perhaps who would be interested in, collaborating with you in a business. This energy is also like the fire horse energy is coming in on February 17th. And on February 17th, the energy is the fire horse. That's the first, the Chinese New Year, the first day of the Chinese New Year. On that day, we also have a new moon. So new. And the fire horse energy is really taking on new adventures, setting very high goals, and moving towards them. And this energy is about having the heart to do it. And it's really supportive for that right now. Like it's a very strong energy. So the fiery horse energy stimulates people to have more passion in their life and more get up and go. The danger with it is not to do impulsive behaviors that could set you back, and also not to push yourself so hard that you collapse because you burn yourself out. We're talking, use that Capricorn energy that we're in right now to take consistent steps of action, 1% at a time. And I feel like that energy, plus on at the end of this month, we're going to have the full moon on February 1st. And that one is in Leo. And so the opposing energy that comes from across the horoscope wheel is the Aquarius energy. And so the Leo energy is saying, hey, I need to look after my own needs first here, and then I will expand and be able to look after other groups of people, etc. And that's the Aquarius energy is saying, hey, what can we do to make the world a better place? Like, let's get together and do that. So you are in a good position with that full moon coming up at the end of the month, with this fire horse energy coming in, to be able to really make some significant shifts in your situation, just by getting your mind in the right place. That's the energy I'm picking up here. So let's see, Libra. And a lot of people are feeling this way, and I feel like on some level, you may be exaggerating your position a little bit. There's just a bazillion sirens outside my unit here again, down the street here. So I was just waiting for them to pass by here, because I can't tell if I have a good mic on, but it's really loud. So when sirens come up in a reading like this, it's talking. I was just going to say, you're not the only one. You know, it's alarming. So don't sit there and watch the news for 6 hours a day and get all depressed. You could watch the news for about 5 minutes and figure out what's happening in the world today, what you wanted to know, and then just move forward, you know, that kind of energy. Knowledge is power. But you will, if you recognize you're not the only one that is feeling this energy. And a lot of people are feeling it in a very exaggerated way because of all this energy that we're in right now. It's kind of feeding itself, you know, that kind of energy. And we're going to clarify this with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, Tails. So this is something I started back in 2007, and in 2020, I completed all 64 paintings, and now I want to bring the actual deck out, but I'm writing up the information that goes with it. I will have the numbers on these cards listed in the description box below. If you want to go to my website, talesfromthevector.com, you can check it out, and maybe that will empower you some more. Each painting kind of has a little information with it, and I find that it's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. So it's from the future. It's information coming in from a big perspective, big dragons, that kind of energy. I've been tuning in here, and I just want to make sure I get. Okay, so these are the cards that want to come out. There's a whole bunch of them, and so we're just going to do it like this to clarify this. Okay, so neutrality. Neutrality be about what's going on in the world. That's what I'm getting here. So not exaggerating the position. Like, understand what's happening in the world on some level, and then focus on your own world. If you want to have a solid future, you need to participate in your future. Participate in your future. It's like, okay, in this moment, what can I do right now to make my situation better? That's the energy. And then, yeah, I feel like lack of awareness so causes missed opportunities. And I feel like perhaps there might be some options out there that you haven't looked into. And if you go and look into it, even go to the library if you don't have Wi-Fi or whatever right now, and look up, hey, what are some of the government-funded, agencies, or who, is there someone that I could turn to for advice? Can I contact someone that I know is really good at what they do, and see if they could give me, go and have a cup of coffee with them and find out, what would you suggest I do? And then we have the karmic space here of being in your ego. And so this is being in this position is not a fun position to be in. And so it's talking about keep your ego in check. Like the energy here, like people that go to this extent are, it's definitely that's like bully behavior. There's no need for it. Why? You'll see that online a lot. When someone makes a mistake and they're an actor or an actress or whatever, what'll happen is you'll have all these people with really mean comments about it, And it's kind of like, hey, chill out, you know, like it's kind of like when someone's down, like really kicking someone when they're down kind of energy. And so, yeah, there's been some sort of deception here, and it could have to do with a lover of yours, and maybe you fell into depression or something. So, you know, this is the energy that I'm talking about, is like, really this requires for you to realize that you may be wounded, but you're not down. You're going to stand up, and you're going to get up, and you're going to, you understand how to be successful. You know what it takes from you inside, and so you need to stimulate that inside of you again. Yeah, sometimes when people are busy doing this kind of energy, they think it's funny, and they it makes them feel good, but then when karma hits them, they get hit 10 times harder. And so just allow it, like, that's cause and effect. It's not about, oh, you have to, you know, the angels are going to come down and pound the crap out of them or something like that. That's about you educating yourself. What could you do differently? You can't control what other people do, but you can control what you do. And that's what you need to focus on right now. Abuse of power, definitely. I can feel that there was definitely some energy here. When a whole bunch of people gang up, it's kind of like when a whole bunch of companies decide, okay, we're just not going to do business with that person because they heard, like, they tarnished your reputation, that kind of energy. And then, and the good news is people don't talk about people in that way unless they have, you know, you're not a boring person. Let's put it to you that way. We have destruction just for the sake of it. That's this energy right here. You know, for them, that's how they get ahead. So you just have to be in it. You just have to recognize, don't even take it personally. That these may be people that you know very well. They may be people that are in your family, but you don't have to take it personally. You can understand, oh, their actions belong to them, and your actions belong to you. What can you do to make your life better? That's the energy you need to get into, and that is where you need to really focus. When you focus on that, you're really going to see that, oh, all of a sudden, the universe will notice, hey, this person is really wanting to get back up, and let's send some good energy their way. This is the energy also of thinking, okay, other people have it so much better than you, and the grass is greener on the other side kind of energy. And then you find out, oh, those people were just fake anyway. I would rather be how I am and have the people in my life that I have, because they're at least real. I for some reason I missed this, so I'm taking the card from the bottom of the deck, and it's the Lovers. So that's confirming that this energy here, perhaps that's a big part of the reason why, is that someone that you were, that was your lover, was involved in this energy behind your back, and that is why, like, you couldn't see it. And now that you see it, if you start getting a clear picture, oh, that's what happened, then you understand, oh, if that's what happened, it wasn't just me. You know, like, if I would have seen this sooner, I would have done this instead. So what you would have done instead, do it now as much as you can in that energy. And then we have the Aquarius energy coming in. So this is again talking about, yes, moving forward in, like, consistent steps of action, but don't take, like, giant leaps that you can't, like, don't set yourself up for failure here. You know, it's kind of like the Aquarius energy is about experimenting. Did that work for me? I'm gonna go out there today, and I'm gonna do this and see if that empowers me. And if it does empower you, then you say, okay, now I'm gonna do that twice as much. Like, you know, I'm gonna go out this afternoon and do it again, but I'm gonna do it twice. That's the kind of energy. It may be like you don't have the courage to go out there and even ask to collaborate with other people, and then you force yourself to, and you find, hey, I got a really good response, and now I'm going to go and ask 2 more people. And that's the kind of energy, that's what this energy here is talking about. So the Aquarius energy is the energy, like the full moon on the 1st of February is a Leo full moon, and across from that is the Aquarius energy. So this is saying, the Aquarius energy is saying, what can we do to make the world a better place as a group? the Leo energy is saying, what can I do right now to put myself in a position of leadership? And so that's that energy here. This right here energy is your commitment, marriage, and your partnerships. So I feel, yeah, you were given a raw deal here by people that you knew. But having said that, it's not, I really do feel that it's adjustment in your attitude. Like you would be surprised how quickly you progress in being able, if you observe what's working for you and take a look at your results, that and just take, you know, small steps, and so that you're not overwhelmed. You might find that, oh, like it's getting better already kind of energy. And then this next position here is about transformation. So yes, you have to let go of the attachment that you have to how it was supposed to be and work on how it is now, and really be in that energy so that you can upgrade your energy. And then we have this position here is for higher learning. Like, and that is about, like, if you have someone that you could go to and that, you know, oh, I'll always get good advice from them, then go and get that good advice. And if not, go online and get some good advice online. Take a look if you're interested in a certain area and you intuitively feel like, if I do this, maybe what are the first steps I need to do it, and go look it up and, you know, take those steps. Have the integrity and the strength to look after yourself first and foremost. And then we have, and the courage to do so, because it takes a lot of courage when you're in this position. But understand that every time that you do that, it has an effect on you, where you start to feel more empowered, and it boosts your vibration that little bit more and that little bit more and that little bit more. It all adds up very, very quickly. And then we have the energy of, on the wounded warrior, this is the energy you're in, that's talking about your career and your public image and also your reputation. And if they have done everything in their power here to take you down and ruin your reputation, you don't need to be in your ego and explain yourself. Just let the truth come out. The truth will come out. It's really challenging when you're in that position, because it's kind of like, you know, a bunch of people ganging up and making up stories or whatever, so that they can win. What did they win? They didn't win much. And eventually that energy, it always catches up with people. The truth comes out. You know, what this is saying is there's always, like, see how little light there is here, and then there's all this dark. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but if you're in a bright sunny day and it's a beautiful day and the sky is blue and it's like really warm and it's just like one of those really nice days, and someone is holding something that's very black in their hand, are you even going to notice that? But if you're in the dark and it's very black and someone lights a match, you're going to see that light right away. And so that's the energy. The power of the light over dark is a bazillion times stronger. And so this is talking also, okay, how are you going to manifest on that? And that's about using your sacral chakra. That's the energy where you let go of the base fear, like how am I, you know, I'm not going to be able to survive energy. And you see that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, and you start to pick yourself up and you start to move forward. And then sometimes that requires some healing of your heart and your energy. And so you have to go inward to do that. Other people cannot do that for you. That's your inner strength belongs to you, and you have to pull that out of yourself. Just like in the strength card, in the tarot, it's of the young woman reaching down into the lion's mouth to be able to face her fears. And so it's a dangerous thing to do, but she does it anyway because she wants to face her fears, so that she has the courage to be able to move forward. And so in my deck, the integrity, it's it's the pyramids and all the energy around that, and a big dragon with guarding 2 eggs kind of energy. So it's talking about having like going inward and really finding your own strength and guarding your own, like that, your inner ability, and recognizing you're worth it and you're worth being able to move forward. This is dissension. So there could have been, like, there's quite a few tactics out here. There's dissension, which is talking about, you thought these people, possibly some of them, you thought they were in your inner circle, you thought they were your friends, and maybe something happened between you and your partner, and you you fell apart for a while or something. You were so upset, and that's when they thought, oh, this is our chance, let's go after the money. That kind of energy. So the good news is now you know exactly, that when you're in this position here, that's when you find out who your friends truly are. And you'll find out you don't have as many as you thought you did. That it's normal. It's just the way it is. Most people that you have in your life are acquaintances, not friends. And you'll learn that as you get older, that you'll see that in a lot of different situations. You'll see that online, like I said, when someone has one bad day, and they're like, someone like, maybe it, like, for example, let's say you're on a football team and you're a professional and you're the best quarterback ever, but you have a bad day. And right at the, it's the, you're moving into the finals and you really need to win this, and you have one bad pass, and that one bad pass is what people are talking about for the next 6 months, and they don't talk about like the years and years where you landed that ball exactly every time. That's the kind of energy I'm talking about. So yeah, this is a bit of a pep talk for the Libra energy. I feel though that your situation is very fixable here, and you might be surprised how quickly you can turn things around when you turn that energy around a little bit. All the best to you, Libra, and I will have another reading for you on for the beginning of the month, and also you can check out that energy of the. I just put out the energy for the new moon that we're going through right now as we speak, and maybe that would benefit you. Bye for now, Libra.